Homelander never knew fear. Until now. 3 adamantium claws. 2 centuries of rage. 1 mission. Destroy every fake god wearing a cape. When Wolverine rips into the boys' universe, Vought's golden heroes face their worst nightmare. A mutant who can't die, doesn't negotiate, and smells corruption like blood and water. Billy Butcher wanted a weapon against Supes. He found something better. A killer with no limits, no mercy, and no interest in playing hero. The boys had plans. Logan had claws. Guess which one Homelander fears more? Welcome to the slaughter. Rain fell like a confession nobody wanted to hear. It pooled in gutters, mixed with blood, and spread across concrete like guilt searching for cracks. This city bled constantly. The rain just helped to travel. Wolverine walked through it, jacket shredded, knuckles raw, cigar dead between teeth that had bitten through worse things than tobacco. His boots splashed through puddles that reflected neon signs selling happiness and heroes with perfect teeth. This universe smelled wrong. Not like battlefields. Not like survival. It smelled like corruption wearing expensive cologne. Like rot dressed in spandex and broadcasting itself on 50-foot screens. Logan stopped beneath one of those screens. A supe called Homelander smiled down at him, rescuing a kitten, promising safety, selling energy drinks between saves. The crowd in the advertisement cheered like trained seals. Liars, Logan muttered. Loud ones. He'd seen propaganda before. Weapon X had its own brand. But this was different. This was a world that had learned to love its chains and call them jewelry. 2 blocks east, fear spiked. Logan smelled it before he heard it. Adrenaline. Sweat. The copper-sharp tang of someone who knew they were about to die. Then a scream, cut short like a radio switching off. He moved. The alley was narrow and stinking of trash. A man knelt in garbage, hands raised, begging words tumbling out too fast to matter. Above him stood a supe, young, handsome, eyes glowing laser red with warming heat. Please, the man sobbed. I didn't see anything. I swear. I won't tell. You're right. The supe smiled. You won't. Logan didn't announce himself. No warning. No demand. Just movement. Snicked. 3 claws extended with that familiar whisper of metal on metal. The supe turned, confused, processing the sound, but not the threat. Adamantium met spine. The supe's eyes went wide, then empty. His body dropped into the trash, like it had always belonged there. The red glow faded. The rain kept falling. Logan stared at the corpse, waiting. Sirens. Cameras. Consequences. Nothing. Just rain washing blood into the gutter. So that's how it is, he said. Word traveled in whispers. Not news reports. Not official channels. Just fear passed from mouth to ear in places where Vought's microphones couldn't reach. A supe had died. No cameras. No press release. No staged apology about mental health and difficult circumstances. Just a body and questions nobody dared ask. Billy Butcher watched the footage for the 4th time. Grainy, ugly, perfect. The security camera had caught fragments. A shadow moving too fast. Metal glinting. A supe who thought he was untouchable learning otherwise in the span of a heartbeat. Butcher paused on the frame where the claws emerged. 3 blades. Bone or metal, hard to tell. Punched straight through a body designed to stop bullets. Well, I'll be absolutely fucked, Butcher said softly. Frenchie leaned over his shoulder, eyes bright with fascination. Metal skeleton, yes? Healing factor like comic book nonsense. Means he's expensive, mother's milk said from across the room. Or dangerous. Butcher smiled. Same thing. Shook his head. We don't know who he is, where he came from, what he wants. He wants Supes dead. Butcher stood, cracking his neck. That's enough common ground for me. And if he's worse than them, then we deal with that too. Butcher grabbed his jacket. But first we watch. We wait. We see what this animal does next. They didn't go looking for Wolverine. That was their first smart decision. He found them instead. The safe house smelled like bad coffee and worse decisions. Logan tracked the stink of paranoia and cheap guns through 3 miles of back alleys until he found the building. Run down, unmarked, the kind of place that screamed, "We're hiding something," to anyone who knew how to listen. He knocked once. Silence. He kicked the door in. Guns snapped up. Fingers found triggers. For people stared at him with the desperate alertness of prey that had learned to bite back. Logan stopped just inside the doorway. Rain dripped from his hair. His claws stayed out. "Relax," he said. "If I wanted you dead, you'd already be bleeding." A woman with dark hair and harder eyes kept her weapon trained on his chest. "You always introduce yourself like that. Only to people who point guns at me." Butcher stepped forward, that predator smile spreading across his face. "She asked a fair question, mate." Logan retracted the claws. The metal slid back into his forearms with a soft hiss. "Name's Logan. I'm hunting." "Yeah." Butcher's eyes gleamed. "So are we." The silence stretched. Two sides measuring each other, calculating threat levels, weighing risks against possible rewards. Broke first. "What are you?" "Complicated." "That's not an answer." "It's the only one you're getting." Logan looked around the room. Maps on walls. Photos of Supes with red X marks. Files stacked high enough to be evidence of obsession. "You're going after Vought." "Going after is a strong phrase," Frenchie said. "We prefer aggressively investigating." "With explosives," the woman added. Logan almost smiled. "I can work with that." Trust didn't come that night. Trust came later, measured in blood and shared enemies. What they established in that safe house was simpler. Direction. A common list of names that needed to stop breathing. They showed in the files. Logan sat in the dim light, pages spreading across the table like evidence of a disease. Videos played on cracked screens. Testimonies. Cover-ups. Bodies buried in paperwork. Supes who killed for fun and called it accidents. Corporations that sold heroism while profiting from the chaos heroes created. Children experimented on. Witnesses silenced. A machine so vast and so polished that most people couldn't see the blood keeping it running. Logan's hands started shaking. Not from fear, from recognition. Weapon X, different logo. Same philosophy. "This is what we're fighting," said quietly. "Not just Supes, the system that makes them." Logan looked up. His eyes had gone cold. "Show me where to start." They started small. Mid-tier Supes. The ones who did dirty work for contracts and clout. The ones Vought wouldn't miss loudly enough to make noise. A pyrokinetic who burned homeless camps for real estate developers. Logan found him in a parking garage, shoved claws through his throat, and pinned him to a gas main. The explosion looked like an accident. It wasn't. A sonic screamer who deafened witnesses for corporate clients. She lost her jaw before she could open her mouth. A speedster who accidentally killed protesters. He wasn't fast enough to see the claws coming. Each death sent ripples. Vought PR worked overtime, spinning narratives about mental health and tragic accidents. But people noticed. The ones paying attention. The ones who'd lost someone to Supe mistakes and never got answers. Something was hunting the hunters. Homelander noticed. He hovered above the city one night, cape snapping in wind he barely felt, smile fixed for cameras that couldn't see his eyes. Below him, the world worshipped. They always did. But something was wrong. The fear tasted different lately. It had an edge, a sharpness that suggested people were scared of something besides him. "Sir." His earpiece crackled. "We have another incident. That's for this month." "For what?" "Casualties. Off-book assets. No witnesses." Homelander's smile didn't waver. His eyes did. Someone was playing in his sandbox. He descended toward Vought Tower, already planning, already adjusting. The world had predators. He'd always been the apex. Time to remind everyone why. The factory had been dead for 20 years. Rust ate the walls. Machinery stood frozen mid-collapse. The only light came from holes in the ceiling where weather had won against architecture. Logan stood in the center, waiting. He'd felt the approach, the displacement of air, the particular arrogance of someone who'd never learned to walk quietly because they'd never needed to. Homelander landed like a statement, cape settling, boots finding purchase on concrete that cracked under his weight. His smile was perfect, magazine cover perfect, the kind of smile that sold products and hid bodies. "You're the animal," Homelander said, "the one making my people nervous." Logan lit a cigar. "Your world is shithole." "Excuse me." "Heard me." Smoke curled between them. Fake heroes, real monsters. Whole system built on making people worship their abusers. Logan took a drag. "I've seen it before. Usually underground. You people just added cameras." Homelander's head tilted. "That practiced confusion that preceded violence. You don't know who you're talking to." "Yeah, I do." Logan dropped the cigar, ground it under his boot. "You're the pretty face they put on the ugly machine. The one who makes people feel safe while the company sells their fear. I am the safety. You're a product." Logan's claws extended. "And I'm discontinuing the line." Homelander moved first. The punch came faster than sound, faster than thought. Logan flew backward through 3 walls, concrete exploding around him. He landed in rubble, body broken. Bones snapped in ways that should have meant death. He got up, slowly, wetly, bones cracking back into place with sounds that made Homelander pause. Logan wiped blood from his mouth and grinned. "That all you got?" Homelander's smile finally cracked. They clashed again. Adamantium claws carved lines across invulnerable skin. Heat vision scorched healing flesh. The factory came apart around them, casualty of gods at war. Logan tasted his own blood, felt ribs puncture lungs that reinflated seconds later, watched Homelander's perfect face twist with something he probably hadn't felt in years: confusion. This wasn't supposed to happen. Things broke when Homelander hit them. They stayed broken. They begged. They died. This thing just kept coming. They didn't finish the fight. Not that night. Both recognized something in the other, a kind of damage that went deeper than flesh, a willingness to continue until one of them stopped existing. Homelander left first, flew straight up into clouds, away from something he couldn't solve with strength alone. Logan watched him go, healing, planning. This world had found its predator. Now it was time to teach the apex what that meant. Supes started dying. Not publicly, not cleanly. One vanished after a nightclub incident. Another turned up in pieces after a private charity event. A third simply stopped existing. Last seen entering an alley that held only shadows. Vought blamed drugs, accidents, foreign terrorists, deep fakes, anything but the truth. The truth had claws. Logan adapted to this world, learned its rhythms, its blind spots, the places where cameras didn't reach and money talked louder than justice. The boys provided intel, logistics, occasionally explosives. "You're making noise," Butcher said one night, sharing whiskey in another temporary safe house. "Good noise, but loud. Noise is the point." Logan stared at the wall, at photos of dead Supes crossed out with red marker. They need to feel hunted. And when they hunt back, then I'll know they're paying attention. They hunted back. Supes started moving in groups. Traps appeared disguised as tips. Sound cannons, gravity weapons, experimental technology designed to contain things that didn't want containing. A coordinated strike caught Logan in an abandoned subway tunnel. Floodlights blinded. Sonic pressure crushed his skull. Gravity warped until his bones bent wrong. He dropped to one knee, blood streaming from ears and eyes. 6 Supes surrounded him. The best Vought had that wasn't Homelander. Confident, coordinated, professional. Logan stood up anyway. The fight was brutal and fast and ugly. Adamantium carved through reinforced skin. Bodies hit walls hard enough to crack them. One Supe begged before Logan's claws found his throat. Another tried to run. Tried. When it ended, the tunnel looked like a slaughterhouse. Logan limped away, healing already, leaving Vought with another failure they couldn't explain. But he felt it now. The fatigue that wasn't physical. This world didn't break like others. It bent, absorbed horror, learned to live with it. That scared him. The boys started arguing. We need to slow down. Spread papers across the table. Evidence, legal angles, connections that could expose Vought through channels that didn't involve bloodshed. Build cases, prove things publicly. Logan stared at him. Cases take years. People die tonight. People die faster if we keep this up. MM's voice hardened. You're not saving anyone. You're starting a war. War was already started. Logan stood. I'm just making sure the right side wins. There is no winning. Slammed his hand on the table. You stab enough of them, more grow. The system makes them. You want to kill an idea with claws. Watch me. Frenchie noticed the cracks first. He pulled Logan aside one night, hands trembling, eyes too bright from too little sleep. This ends with everyone dead, mon ami. Logan looked at him. Really looked. Saw the toll. The trauma. The way Frenchie built bombs, because building was the only thing keeping him from flying apart. Then we better make it count, Logan said. It wasn't comfort. It was the only truth he had left. Butcher sided with Logan. Of course he did. Two broken weapons pointed in the same direction, feeding each other's damage. You're using him, told Butcher. Like a gun. Pull the trigger, point somewhere else. Don't think about what happens after. Butcher smiled. Mate, I am a gun. Logan's just the bigger caliber. The alliance held. Barely. Held together by hate and purpose, and a list of names that kept getting shorter. But underneath, something was rotting. The plan was ugly, messy, perfectly on brand. Vought's annual showcase. The biggest event of the year. Live-streamed to billions. Every major supe on stage, soaking in worship, selling the dream. Homelander front and center. We hit them during the broadcast, Butcher said. Make the world watch their god bleed. Shook his head. It's suicide. Always is. Logan studied the blueprints. Security layouts. Exit points. The 100 ways this could go wrong. I go in alone, he said. Like hell. If it fails, I'm the only one who can survive what he'll do. Logan looked at Butcher. You stay outside. Keep the cameras rolling no matter what. Butcher's jaw tightened. And if you die, then make it mean something. The showcase was beautiful. Crystal chandeliers. Golden lighting. A stage designed to make gods look godlier. Thousands of people packed into seats, phones raised, recording every second of the carefully choreographed worship. Homelander stood at the center, bathed in light, arms spread like a messiah accepting communion. My friends, he said, voice carrying like honey over speakers. Tonight, we celebrate heroism. We celebrate sacrifice. We celebrate the love that binds us together. Logan came through the ceiling. Glass shattered. Metal screamed. He landed on the stage in a crouch, claws out, blood already dripping from wounds the fall had caused, and his body was already healing. Silence. 1,000 phones kept recording. Remember me? Logan's voice carried. Homelander's smile flickered. You. Me. They collided. The stage exploded outward. Seats flew. People screamed. But the cameras, those perfect, unblinking cameras, kept rolling. The world watched as their god fought something that wouldn't stay down. Lasers burned Logan's chest. He cut Homelander's arm. Heat vision melted muscle. Adamantium carved flesh. They tore at each other like animals, civilized masks forgotten. Blood hit the floor. Red. Real. Caught in 4K. Homelander's blood. The audience went silent. Then someone screamed. Then everyone was screaming, stampeding. Chaos erupting as the beautiful lie came apart in real time. Security swarmed. Smoke filled the room. The boys pulled Logan out before the kill could happen, before the story could end. But the damage was done. The world had seen their god bleed. Nothing would be the same. Vought said the footage was edited. Deep fakes. Terrorist propaganda. A coordinated attack on American values. The talking heads talked. The lawyers lawyered. The machine did what machines do, grind forward, converting truth into noise. But blood has a way of feeling real, even through glass. People argued online, debated in bars, whispered in workplaces. Was it real? Could it be real? Could Homelander, Their Homelander actually be hurt? The doubt was enough. Supes started staying inside. Public appearances dropped. Vought stock dipped and didn't recover. A hairline fracture had appeared in the foundation of empire. Logan stayed moving. Cheap motels, abandoned buildings, anywhere that smelled like rust and regret. The healing factor kept him alive, but it didn't make him invisible. Drones buzzed overhead. Supes with tracking powers circled like vultures. Vought wanted him dissected. Homelander wanted him erased. The world wanted someone to blame. Homelander went live. No script, no handlers, just him hovering above the city, cape snapping in manufactured wind. "There is an animal loose," he said softly. "A murderer from another world. And the people helping him? They're traitors, terrorists, enemies of everything we built." He said Logan's name. The bounty went public. Civilians turned hunters. Gangs armed themselves hoping for paydays. Supes who'd been quiet saw chances for advancement. The city became a hunting ground. Logan killed a man who tried to poison his drink. Killed another who pulled a gun in a crowded street. He hated every second of it. This wasn't justice anymore. This was infection. The boys nearly died because of him. A trap disguised as a tip. Warehouse wired to collapse. Supes hitting from all sides. Went down with shattered ribs. Frenchie took shrapnel. Butcher laughed through broken bones, screaming insults at the sky. Logan snapped. Not into rage, into clarity. He stopped holding back. What followed wasn't a fight. It was education. Logan moved too fast to track, too precise to predict. He cut tendons, spines, throats. Supes died screaming, confused that something was faster, meaner, more willing to embrace violence as answer. When it ended, the warehouse was rubble. Logan dragged the team out, bleeding but alive. Later, alone on a rooftop, he stared at his hands. They shook. "This world doesn't need me," he said. Butcher lit a cigarette with trembling fingers. "Needs you like a knife needs a target. And when the knife's all that's left." Butcher didn't answer. Vought prepared their endgame. Not with Supes, with bait. Intel leaked through channels designed to be found. A facility, underground, where failed experiments were dumped. Kids, broken things, nightmares in training. Logan went alone. He knew it was a trap. He went anyway, because some traps are worth springing. The facility was clinical and cold. White walls, fluorescent lights, the sterile smell of places where humanity was an inconvenience to be managed. And cages, rows of them, children inside, 4 lines pumping chemicals, eyes that had forgotten hope existed, bodies that had learned pain was the only constant. Weapon X, different logo, same horror. Logan stood before those cages, claws out, memories crashing through him like tidal waves. The experiments, the conditioning, the way they'd taken his humanity and tried to machine it into something useful. He'd survived. These kids might not. Security arrived, enhanced, armed, expecting a target. They found a reckoning. Logan didn't just kill everyone in that building. He erased it. When the smoke cleared, when screams faded into silence, the children stood in rubble, blinking at sunlight they hadn't seen in years. Logan looked at them. "Run," he said. "Never stop running." They ran. The message was undeniable. This wasn't a vigilante anymore. Homelander watched the footage in silence. The facility, his facility, a project he'd personally approved, designed to create controllable weapons for Vought's future. Gone, scattered, exposed. His hands shook, not with fear, with something worse, uncertainty. He'd been hurt before. Logan had made him bleed on camera. But this was different. This was someone striking at the foundations, the hidden structures, the things Homelander used to feel powerful even when the cameras weren't rolling. "Sir," an assistant hovered nervously. "What would you like us to?" "Leave." "But sir." "Leave." The room emptied. Homelander stood alone, staring at screens showing wreckage. understanding something he'd never wanted to admit. He wasn't the only predator anymore, and the new one didn't care about his power, didn't worship it, didn't fear it. That was unacceptable. Homelander's eyes began to glow. It was time to end this personally. They baited Starlight. Homelander knew the boys cared about her. Knew Logan had saved her once. Knew sentiment was weakness he could exploit. She vanished quietly. No announcement. No scandal. Just gone. Logan found the trail before Butcher did. He always did. He knew traps. Knew when pain was being used as bait. He went anyway. The black site was deep, old, cold, built before Vought became a household name. Back when experiments didn't need marketing departments. Starlight hung in restraints, bruised but alive. Her powers dampened by technology Logan didn't understand. She looked at him with eyes that held no hope. "It's a trap," she said. "I know." Homelander descended from the shadows. "You always know," Homelander said. "That's what I like about you. You walk into death with your eyes open." Logan's claws extended. "Going to kill you today. You can't." "Maybe." Logan crouched slightly, ready. "But I'm going to hurt you. A lot." They fought. No cameras this time. No audience. Just two monsters trying to end each other. Homelander was faster, stronger. His heat vision carved trenches in Logan's healing flesh. His fists broke bones that were already knitting back together. But Logan was meaner. He carved lines across Homelander's chest that bled for longer than they should have. Found patterns in the perfect defense. Exploited moments of arrogance that opened doors for adamantium. Homelander screamed, not in pain, in rage. The fight ended when alarms screamed and reinforcements arrived. Homelander vanished, not beaten, but bleeding. Logan freed Starlight and got her out before the walls closed. Later, she looked at him like she couldn't decide between gratitude and horror. "You're not saving anyone," she said. "You're just burning the world until it screams back." Logan didn't respond, because somewhere deep down, he was starting to think she was right. Weapon. Vought created Sentinel. No smile. No brand. No marketable face. Just mass and intent. A supe engineered for containment. Dense skin layered like composite armor. Strength calibrated for grappling things that grappled back. Regeneration that rivaled Logan's, but without the pain, without the humanity. They met in a collapsed mall, dead for decades, perfect for murder. Sentinel didn't speak, didn't threaten, just moved. The fight was different, technical. Sentinel absorbed Logan's strikes, adapted, learned. When claws cut, Sentinel adjusted. When power met power, Sentinel endured. For the first time since arriving, Logan felt outmatched. Sentinel pinned him, hands crushing his throat, eyes empty of everything but purpose. Logan's claws punched through Sentinel's ribs, found nothing vital. No organs where they should be, just reinforced matter designed to take exactly this kind of damage. "This is new," Logan rasped. Sentinel tightened his grip. A sonic boom split the air. Sentinel flew through 3 walls. Butcher stood in the wreckage, bloody, wild-eyed, holding a weapon that hummed like it hated physics. "Miss me," he screamed. The fight turned feral. 2 animals against 1 engineered solution. They won by inches. By breaking Sentinel faster than he could rebuild. By wanting it more. When it ended, Logan couldn't stand. They hid in a sewer while his body stitched itself together. The silence stretched until it became its own language. "He's learning," Logan said finally. "They all are." Butcher shrugged. "So do we." Logan looked at him. Really looked. Saw the cracks. The hunger. The way Butcher leaned into destruction, like it was the only honest thing left. "This ends with you dead," Logan said. Butcher smiled. "Yeah, but not before him." That was the difference. Logan fought because he couldn't stop. Butcher fought because he didn't want to. Part 13, Endgame. Vought leaked everything. Not their crimes. The boys. Operations. Safe houses. Contacts. Names. Faces. Suddenly, the world saw freedom fighters reframed as terrorists. Vigilantes became villains. The narrative flipped. Homelander addressed the world. "I tried mercy," he said. "This is what chaos looks like." That night, coordinated strikes hit across the city. Supes in formation, military support, no subtlety, no restraint, just overwhelming force designed to crush rebellion before it could inspire. The boys scattered. Logan fought in 3 places at once until his body simply couldn't keep up. Healing slowed under sustained damage. Bones stayed broken longer. Blood loss started mattering. They cornered him in a construction site. Floodlights, sonic pressure, gravity weapons. He went down. For the first time since arriving, he didn't get back up right away. They chained him with something new. Not metal, not energy. Something that made his nerves scream and his healing stutter. He laughed through broken teeth anyway. "Going to need more than this," he spat. Homelander landed in front of him. No smile now, just cold curiosity. "This isn't about winning," Homelander said. "It's about ending you." They dragged Logan into the sky, into a Vought facility above the clouds. A place without windows, without witnesses. The boys watched, powerless. Frenchie collapsed. Swore until words meant nothing. Butcher stood very still. "This is on me," Logan had told him once. Butcher finally understood what that meant. They didn't torture Logan for information. They studied him, cut him open, tested limits, turned pain into data. Scientists argued about healing factors and bone density, while his body screamed in ways that should have broken minds. Logan endured, not because he was strong, because he refused to give them the satisfaction. Homelander visited once, watched silently as Logan regenerated around restraints that refused to break. Watched flesh knit, bones reset, life refused to end. "You're not special," Homelander said. "You're just loud." Logan smiled through blood. "And you're just scared." Homelander's eyes flashed. The facility exploded 6 hours later. Frenchie's work, MM's planning, Butcher's madness. They tore a hole in the sky and paid for it in blood. Supes died. Humans died. The line blurred until it didn't matter anymore. Logan broke free in the chaos. Not cleanly, not whole. He fought his way out piece by piece, claws dull, body failing, rage carrying what flesh couldn't. He found Butcher in a burning corridor, bleeding from wounds that should have been fatal, laughing like a man who'd already made peace with death. "Told you I'd come," Butcher said. Logan grabbed him. "This ends now." They reached the edge of the facility as Homelander descended from smoke and fire. No words this time. The fight was everything. Air tearing, fire screaming. Logan pushed past limits that had meaning in other universes. Homelander bled more than ever before. The world watched through hacked feeds as their god staggered. But gods don't fall easily. Homelander snapped Logan's spine midair and hurled him into the remains of the platform. Logan lay there, broken, healing too slowly. Homelander hovered over him, chest heaving. "You lose," he said. Butcher stood behind him, weapon in hand, powered by something that burned the future to fuel the present. "Oi," Butcher said. "Turn around." The blast didn't kill Homelander, but it broke him, sent him crashing into the ocean below, screaming, burning, alive but shattered. The facility collapsed. The sky burned. Logan crawled to Butcher as the world fell apart. "This doesn't fix it," Logan said. Butcher coughed blood and grinned. "Never said it would." The world didn't end. That was the cruelest part. Sun rose over a city stitched together with fear and habit. News anchors spoke carefully, as if volume might summon another god. Vought issued statements about recovery and resilience. Stock stabilized. Life continued. Homelander didn't appear. Not in the sky. Not on screens. Vought said he was recovering, preparing. The word vacation was used. Nobody laughed. Logan healed in pieces. Bones first. Muscles second. The rest took longer. He stayed off the grid, deeper than before, somewhere the rain couldn't find him. Butcher didn't heal. Whatever powered that last weapon had taken payment. His body failed in slow, spiteful ways. Cells corrupting. Systems shutting down. He refused help. Borrow time, he said. Always was. Logan watched him die by inches and felt something twist that wasn't damage. You won, Logan told him one night. Butcher laughed, weak and sharp. We interrupted. Butcher died quietly. No explosion, no speech. Just a man who'd burned himself down until nothing remained. Logan buried him where the ground was honest. Said nothing. Words had never been his strength. Years passed. The world didn't become better. It became different. Supes existed, but smaller. Watched harder. Feared more openly. Vought fractured into competing factions, each afraid of the shadow that had proved gods could bleed. Kids grew up hearing stories about a man with knives in his hands who fought monsters and vanished when the world asked for more blood. Some called him villain. Some called him warning. Logan kept moving. Sometimes late at night, when rain sounded just right, people swore they saw a figure at the edge of the city, watching, waiting, making sure the line didn't get crossed again. Not a hero, not a god, just a reminder. In a world built on lies and capes and smiles too perfect to trust, there was still something out there that didn't care about power, only about the next scream, and whether it could be stopped.